Hello, everybody. Welcome to Physical Science. We're focusing on Unit 3, Forces in Action. Today, specifically, we're going to focus on Learning Target 3.1, or which states that we need to analyze changes in mass and weight. Today, we will work on levels of proficiency and levels of exemplary. Remember back to Monday when we started calculating mass and weight. So I first need you to go to Google Drive, search for and open Journey Around the Solar System writing prompt, make a copy, and put it in your science folder. Once you've done that, continue on with the video. Alright, now that you're at that document, we need to read the following prompt and student answer. So I'm going to show you what a student wrote to this prompt. Congratulations, you have made it back from your journey safe and sound. Now it's time to analyze your data. Here's the data you collected on your trip. So we have the gravitational force of 4 different planets, we have the weight that was calculated on those 4 different planets, and we have the mass that was calculated on those 4 different planets. So here's what the student is being asked to do. The student is being asked to analyze the changes in mass and weight by defining mass and weight, calculating weight using mass and gravity, and explain the differences between mass and weight. Here is the response. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Weight is a force. I calculated weight by taking mass times gravity. Person A's weight was 270 newtons, 650 newtons, 715 newtons, and 270 newtons. Person B's weight was 296 newtons, 712 newtons, 784 newtons, and 296 newtons. I calculated mass by taking weight divided by gravity. Person A's mass was 73 kilograms for all planets, and person B's mass was 80 kilograms for all planets. Mass does not change. So there is a student response. Let's see what we're asked to do. First step is to highlight the definitions of mass and weight in yellow, highlight the calculations of mass and weight in blue, highlight the explanations of mass and weight in red. And then you will answer the following questions. Did the student define mass and weight? Yes or no. Calculate mass and weight? Yes or no. And explain the differences between mass and weight? Yes or no. So, I need you to pause the video and do that now. Alright, so now we've paused the video and we've highlighted. Based on your highlights and answers to the questions, provide feedback for the student. You may use jot dots. This feedback, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be kind, specific, and helpful. It needs to tell what the student did, what the student did not do, and it needs to prompt their thinking to dig deeper into their writing. Now, your answers or your feedback would come from Learning Target 3.1 notes in the Explain category. So go to those notes and scroll all the way down to the Venn diagram where we compared and contrasted mass versus weight. Please do that now. Let's check to see if you highlighted correctly. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. That is a strict definition. So they did that. They defined mass. They also defined weight because weight is a force. Secondly, the student told us how they calculated weight by taking mass times gravity. So I'm going to highlight that in blue. The person also provided data, 270, 650, and so on, for the weight that they calculated on those planets. The person also told us how they calculated mass by taking weight divided by gravity and then provided us data. Mass doesn't change. That to me could be an explanation, but it doesn't dig very deep, so I'm thinking that is just a concluding sentence, not an explanation. So based on my highlights, I can go back to the questions they asked me and say, did the person define mass and weight? Yes, they did. I look at my notes and it was exactly the same. Did the person calculate mass and weight? Yes, they told me how they did it and they provided data. Did the person explain the difference? Not so much. I don't see any explanation whatsoever. So right now, at this point, this student has shown me an approaching level of understanding because they could define mass and weight, and they could calculate weight by using mass and gravity. So how are we going to provide feedback? Well, I hope you provided feedback for the student. I want you to share that feedback as a class, so wait until you do that. But some of the feedback you could provide that's kind of specific: the person defined mass and weight. The person also calculated mass and weight. However, the student did not explain, so we need to have that student dig deeper. I look at my compare and contrast notes, my Venn diagram, and I want the student to be able to dig deeper. And so I would ask the student, how does mass and weight change? That's one question we could ask the student. We could also ask the student, what does weight depend on? Or another way to ask this question is, why does weight change? Those are 3 questions that I hope you came up with when providing feedback for the student. What you need to do now is go back and answer those 3 questions. Please pause the video now to answer those 3 questions on your writing prompt. Very good. Now here is student response number 2. I want you to analyze this paragraph and explain the differences, or look for the differences between the two. Very good. I hope you found these are the differences. Mass is the property and the amount of stuff in an object. That may be an explanation. However, I would think that is more of a definition. So I keep going. However, both astronauts' weight changed. So they start answering the question of why. This is because weight is a force that depends on mass and gravity. So that is an explanation. They give us an example. The reason why, once again, they're answering the question why weight changed was because of the gravitational force changed. They provided some more data here, and now remember where we get that data. That is from the table. That is the gravitational force. Due to the fact that mass does not change, we prove that gravitational force and weight have a direct relationship. Once again, that is an explanation of why weight changes, or explaining the difference. Now they analyzed it because they used the data provided. They broke down the problem with data and explanation. So that is an analysis. Now, I want you to understand that on Friday, all right, you will be doing a assessment over Learning Target 3.1. So things that make you go, if I gave you a strong and weak example today, what do you think will be coming on Friday? Probably a writing prompt. So you should be sure that you can write an answer or response to mass versus weight, just like student response number 2. It will be a different question, a different scenario, but those are the key things I will be looking for. I'll be looking for a definition, a calculation, and an explanation as to why mass and weight changes or does not change. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day.